Have you been on a project where the dates have slipped? Maybe you're using Agile and despite the best team's efforts, dates consistently drift away from you? Hi, I'm Peter Nickel. I plan to offer some insights today on that exact topic. One of the challenges with delivery is that we don't set up delivery to be efficient. And a lot of times it's not the team and it's not the vendor. It's a contract structure that does not support efficient delivery. One of the concepts that I wanted to share with you, and it's one of the most powerful that I've learned in my entire career, is called the idea of DEDs, or Delivery Expectation Documents. The benefit of a DED is it attaches on top of a contract. So it's like an attachment essentially at the end of a contract. And what it does is it clarifies delivery expectations. It makes it very clear on what you expect in the format and the style of what's expected in that artifact. The basic concept is tying payments to delivery. Instead of saying, hey, we're going to pay on a monthly calendar where on March 1st, on April 1st, on May 1st, a payment's made regardless of delivery, you're tying delivery to payments specifically. In fact, I just had a challenge of this last week where we realized that we were impacted by 2 weeks. Last minute, the vendor provided some information that resulted in a 2-week delay. When I started to look into it, what I realized was our vendor partner wasn't impacted at all. In fact, they still got paid on time. And the reality was they actually made an additional 2 weeks of salary for 15 or 20 people as a result of that 2-week delay. So as you probably know, a combination of how consultant teams are made up in terms of payments and revenue is part of it is upscale growth, how many dollars in contracts they sell. And the second part of it is the margins on those contracts. Well, if you're not linked, if you don't have payments linked to delivery, the ultimate problem is you're not incentivizing your business partners to be good business partners. So the idea of a DED, a deliverable expectation document, is it outlines the expectation or the intent of that document. I'll give you a couple examples. Let's just say it's a project plan. Well, I've seen different partners provide a simple PowerPoint document with one slide with a couple milestones and chevrons with generic dates and just months of the year listed. So you don't really know what day you're getting stuff. And it's also not really an actionable project plan. It's not detailed enough. So a project plan DED helps outline what is the intent of that document. It's the integration of an end-to-end plan. It includes the ideation and the requirements, and it completes with a warranty and product delivery and follow-up and additional items that are included in a warranty phase. It also includes things like, who did you talk to build this plan? What other folks and departments went into the development and construction of this plan? Are there insights included, or is this plan made in total isolation and in a silo? And as a result, when you start to identify the areas that are outlined in a DED, you get the intent, the purpose, the audience, the format, and the structure of that artifact, in addition to what the approval cycle is going to be, what the exception cycle is going to be, how are we going to deal with changes, and ultimately, who's going to sign off on this artifact. What we find is when you implement the DED model on top of a contract, you immediately start to see a change in performance and incentives on how vendor partners perform. So instead of having that delay, that vendor partner is incentivized to ensure they deliver on time. Now, sometimes, of course, situational environmental factors prevent that. Maybe there's a delay in business delivery or some type of timing delivery with a product or supplier where you don't have the information you need to deliver. In those cases, you work together with your vendor partner and figure it out. But for the most part, you want that vendor partner incentivized to deliver on time or early. And if you do this, when you tie payments to delivery and you leverage a DED, you really make that happen. So if you're thinking about why there's a project delay or why Agile really isn't making waves for you and you still have to consistently push out timelines, you might want to consider implementing a deliverable expectation document approach in your lifecycle and your contract management process. If you're interested in an example, just send me an instant message on LinkedIn and I'll be happy to share an example with you. Hi, I'm Peter Nickel, Data Science CIO. Have a great week.